All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you so much for returning back to the porch. If this is your first time, welcome. If you are returning, I really appreciate you. It's been a week, I think, for everybody, has it not? Maybe it's just me, but it's been a week of a lot of political stuff we're definitely going to get into, a lot of man-made horrors beyond my comprehension, but we're going to get into all that. Before all that, though, I know what you're thinking. Whoa, I know you see that shark. That's a cool shark. He's drinking a beer. What a cool shirt. It must be from Dead Threads Apparel. No, while Dead Threads Apparel has the best sports apparel in the game, not necessarily sports apparel here, but I know what you're thinking. That would be a great shirt for a day on the beach. Well, when you want a day on the beach, you want to be a beach bum. And when you want to be a beach bum, you need Beach Bum Threads. I couldn't be more excited to announce the newest partnership on From the Front Porch, Beach Bum Threads. Check out their website. They've got hats, they've got t-shirts, they've got men's, they've got women's. They've got everything you could possibly want for a good solid day on the beach so you can look good and feel good, because when you look good and feel good, you play good and do good and you have a good time. So check out Beach Bum Threads. Use code FTFP for 15% off your entire order, and it also helps out your boy if you use code FTFP. So use code FTFP at checkout. Now, with that all out of the way, use code FTFP for 10% off your order from Dead Threads Apparel. They've got all the sports apparel you could ever want. They've got football. They've got NFL and college. They've got basketball. They've got hockey. They've got the commie sport. They've got whatever you need for next Super Bowl Sunday's coming up. You probably want some good apparel for that. They've got Niner stuff on there. Bang, bang, Niner gang. You know what I'm saying? And so use code FTFP for 10% off your order, Dead Threads Apparel. That really also helps out your boy. Now, with that all out of the way, like I said, it's been a week. Just something. So we'll get into it a lot, in the episode, but just something I want to hit on before then. There's something that's been happening this week, and I just wanted to touch on it before bring the boy Nash on. I've seen a lot of videos, and it could be about the economy today, or relationships today, or the style of apartment buildings. I saw one about today in modern day. And all these things, everything about modern day, people complaining about it. Normally, young millennial to older Gen Z, right in that range, complaining about how everything in modern day is bad. And it's weird to me because I'm an old soul. Right now on my headphones, I've got 40s big band playing. And so I'm an old soul, and so I can't stand the way our modern culture has progressed to basically the worst things imaginable. And so I agree with a lot of the things they're saying. I obviously agree that the economy's in the absolute toilet. I agree that buildings aren't beautiful and they're cheaply made now, and I agree that relationships aren't nearly as meaningful and fulfilling as they used to be, and all these, I agree with everything that a lot of them are saying, but the conclusions are what's different. Their conclusion is, okay, we just haven't progressed enough. But you're complaining that you can't live like a person in 1947 or whatever, or you can't live in this way like a person in 1975 or whatever the case is. Younger millennials to older Gen Z are constantly trying to progress us. Everything in the past was bad. I'm sure you've heard all that. The founders were bad, and the people in the 40s were bad, and your grandparents were bad, and everybody was bad, and the buildings were bad, and our country was bad, and everything is bad, and we need to destroy all of that so we can only live in current year where everybody is good up until, and then a year from now, everybody will be bad then, but current year is really good. But then you complain that it's not like it used to be. I don't understand that. So you don't want it to be like it used to be, but you want it to be like it used to be. And I know this is here's my dad coming out. You don't get how it used to be by not wanting it to be how it used to be. I understand that's a hard lesson. Their dads probably weren't around. That's something we're going to get into the episode too. But their dads weren't around, so they didn't get lessons like this. So if you decide you want to burn everything down from the past, you want to burn it all down, it will be gone. It can't come back. I have this lesson with my 3-year-old daughter all the time. If you break something, it's gone forever. And you can try to duct tape it, you can try to weld it back together or whatever, but if you burn it down to it's gone. And so maybe we need to start having a conversation that, oh, maybe things weren't so bad in the past. There's some things obviously that could be bad, but we as human beings, you can take something like if I make a bowl of cereal and I drop a dish in there, I don't know, like drop a cup in there, or one of my Zins falls out into the bowl of cereal, I can take that out and now we have a good bowl of cereal. Like we can get rid of things. If there's a bad thing in a good thing, you can take it out and still have the good thing instead of just burning the bowl of cereal to the ground. So that's just something that's been irking me this week, and it's not new. It's not like some rare insight that they've discovered or that like everybody's. But it's just like you don't want it to be like the past, but you want it to be like the past. And so maybe we need to have a long conversation about how things in the past weren't so bad, and maybe we should bring some of those things back. With that out of the way, with the venting out of the way, like I mentioned, we're going to bring the boy Nash on here. We were going to have the boy Alex. Some scheduling things happened. It is what it is. The boy Nash is coming on. You know we're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about the Pro Bowl, I guess, in the NFL this week. Also, you can see the rugby ball. Six Nations has started this weekend. So excited for that. We're going to talk about that. I'm trying to get Nash up to speed on some rugby. Then we're going to talk about the masculinity crisis in our country. And, you know, I know a lot of people, to some people, it seems like it's a beating a dead horse, and to some people, they've never heard things before, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to talk about the masculinity crisis that's really like destroying most of the Western world at this point. Then we're going to shake all that off. We're going to go into gratitude and attitude. We're going to talk about what we're thankful for. We're going to talk about what irks us. Then we're going to do a tier list. Because it's been a week, a week like this makes you want to be on the beach. A week like this, a conversation like we're going to have makes you want to just like be able to like drop it all off and relax. So we're going to talk about, there won't be a lot of debate. So we're going to talk about our tier list for our top 3 dream vacation destinations. All this and more coming up from the front porch.
Big shits and small shits, and no shits like French shits. Woo!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to From the Front Porch. I am your host, Joshua Walker. I'm so excited for you to be back with us today. Today, unfortunately, we had some scheduling conflicts with Mr. Alex Hartford, but there's no better person that I'd rather have on here than the boy returning, Nash, Mr. Nashville. How we doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. It's been a great weekend, great day. Can't complain, man.
I know, you're so blessed, and it's crazy on a Sunday. Like, it's like feeling extra blessed. We normally film on Friday, so it's filming on Sunday. Just feel that little extra bit of.
Dude, anytime you can sit down and just talk with your boy after a good day, it's like,
dude, nothing better.
Beats anything.
Beats anything. Well, as you know, we normally start with sports, and in the NFL this weekend is the Pro Bowl, the flag football game. And I was gonna like try to come up with some stuff to talk about it. It's so lame.
Flag football?
It's flag football now. That started that last year, and I came on, or at 3 p.m. it came on. I started watching it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, see if anything happens. Dude, it's so lame, dude. Like, because it's not only is it flag football, but the NFL, they're stars or whatever, so they don't care. So like, they already don't care, and it's flag football, so it's just like people like. Like they just don't. They don't. It's so effeminate, and terrible. It's so like I don't. And so again, I started watching it, and I was just like, I cannot finish watching this. And the sad thing is that so in between the quarters, they had like different games going on. So like after the first quarter, they had some. It's normally like relay races or some kind of like something like that. And so during the relay races or during the lift, they like did a bunch of heavy weight stuff. You can see they're trying, and it's like, just give me this. If they don't want to play the game, but they want to play in these like, because the first one, so there's like a sled with like 5,000 pounds on it, and they have to take 3,000 pounds of weights off and then push the 2,000 pound sled together. And so like they're like, dude, big. It's all the big boys getting together doing all, and they're trying. And it's like, why, can we just do this? Like, nobody cares about the flag game. Like I play flag football obviously, but like flag football is already playing it. It's already frustrating because it's like I just want to hit somebody, but then you get you're not even trying, and then dude, get out of here. I don't care. I'm so over this.
Dude, I'm being completely honest with you. I did not even know that. Like, I had no idea they were doing like a flag football game. That's ridiculous.
Like,
that is great. Oh my gosh.
Well, and it's funny because what happened. So that because they used to have like the normal tackle football game, and then basically nobody would try. So they were like, there was a lot of fans who were like, "Bro, just turn it into a flag football game at this point." And the NFL went, "That's a good idea." It was like, no. We were bluffing, guys. Like, we didn't. But, so
well, that's like
with
I
that,
saw. What's his name? Is it Charles Woodson? I think that's his name. Yeah, that's all. It was a video of him in the Pro Bowl, and he absolutely demolishes some dude. And I'm like, that's what I want to see. I want to see the best of the best going against each other. Like, you're
talking about Sean Taylor. He
Sean Taylor. That's
punter.
Who it was, not Woodson.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I want to see. You have the best of the best competing at the like. I've always been for this. I've said this. I heard someone pitch it one time, and I'm all for it. I think there should be an enhanced league, and they're starting to do it. Like they're doing an enhanced Olympics.
Yeah,
dude, you got my money. I'm watching. Because like, why not? Like, why not jack them up? Is make them as peak as we can make them. If you want to take it, dude, of course you'd be like, yeah, like I want to. It's not gonna be like, we're gonna hold you down and shoot you up.
Yeah.
Like, but. Dude, I want to see that. I want to see some dude that can squat 1,000 pounds for 10 reps, hit somebody. I want to see what he does to another guy. Like, that's crazy.
Like, so it's like the gladiator stuff. Like, I want to see the biggest, strongest dudes like hit each other. Like, and we're talking about the masculinity crisis later, and so I think this is another little branch off of that. But yeah, like I want to see people hit each other and smack each other as hard as they can. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see a 250-pound, like Derrick Henry's in the Pro Bowl. I don't want to see a 250-pound running back play flag football. I want to see him absolutely smoke somebody.
I want to see someone come up, try to grab his flags, and he absolutely put their face 6 feet into the dirt. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Hell, just get rid of the pads. Just do a good old smear the queer, Like,
hell yeah.
Dude,
bring back
Smear
the Queer, dude. Jeez.
I'd be so down for it.
But with that said, so because that's been kind of lame, or I knew that was going to be lame. You see the rugby ball behind me. So Six Nations rugby, the tournament started this weekend, and so that's Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England, Italy, and France, and they come together every year for a tournament. 15 games. Over 5 weekends, they all play each other and basically see who comes out on top. And like, I was watching Friday was Ireland and France, who are like the two best teams in Six Nations, and just the passion of the fans, the passion of the players. Rugby is a hard-nosed sport to begin with, and then I recently started playing rugby myself back in November or something like that. And like even the culture around it, what you do is you play your game and you like kill each other and you beat each other up for 80 minutes, and then it's tradition that you go out to a bar or a pub after with the other team. That's awesome. And the two men of the match share a drink as a whole. They make it a thing, and then you just enjoy hanging out with the boys for like the guys that you were just trying to like smash our faces into the dirt. You now have like the masculine wherewithal to be like, okay, the battle's over. Let's go share a Guinness or something. And man, I just love it, dude. It's so awesome. Great.
That's so cool.
Highly recommend.
I haven't watched a whole lot of rugby. The only time I really watched rugby is when I was a freshman in high school. I got super sick. I got mono, and so I was laid up in bed for 3 or 4 days. And I remember I watched rugby all day, one day, because it was just on TV, so I was like, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And dude, I know it's not super confusing, but it took me forever to kind of start get what was going on. But just watch them it's it looks like organized mass chaos is what it looks like. Yeah. But it is so cool to watch, and the fact that they go out after is it reminds me of like, in high school if there would be like a fight or something like that, and
Yeah.
the dudes stand up and they're like, all right, good, we're good now, we squashed it. It's like that's how it should be. It's like cool, we duked it out, we're good. That's why I love Texas with like the dueling. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's how it should be.
Well, and that's what like it's something that we've totally lost, and I do think it's going to connect another branch to the masculinity crisis. But again, now we have, if you get in a fight in school, we have all these news stories of people dying and getting stabbed and getting like beat up by 15 guys and like beat to death and stuff. It's like, guys, we've always fought. Like boys will always fight. Like it's just you get them you get enough of them in a building, they're gonna fight. It's just inevitable. But we used to have like the actual masculine strength to be like, okay, 1-on-1, I'm gonna fight you. I don't like you. We're gonna beat each other up, and then whoever wins, that is what it is. It's squashed, and we're moving on. But now it's like, oh, some girl that you're never gonna talk to again. She liked me, and now she likes you, so now I'm gonna kill you. It's like, what are we even doing anymore? Like.
They don't. It doesn't like. It's not valued as high. Like I feel like this is a little bit. I don't know how to. I feel like life isn't valued as much nowadays as it used to be, and that's across the board. Because it's like kids like in high school and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll kill them. No, dude. Like taking someone's life, that's a serious thing, But it's like, because I mean, me and my buddies, we used to get boxing gloves and
Yeah.
we would wrestle more but recent, like in the past few years and stuff, we get boxing gloves and we just duke it out, have a couple drinks, and then we're like, oh, I wonder who's going to win this fight.
Dude, in Colorado, we would get a little Coca-Cola or two in our system.
Yeah.
And, like not, what's that? Like the clear tape, like Scotch tape or whatever. Tape our knuckles up.
Masking tape.
Yeah. And you got like 45 seconds of one round where you just wail on each other as much as you can. No face shots because we're not trying to get in trouble because somebody gets, but body shots. This dude ended up cracking my rib, and I ended up breaking his wrist, like all in the same punch. And it's just you know what you do. Like, I don't feel any resentment towards him. He didn't feel any. Yeah, it's fun. It's a boy thing, and I know like my wife wouldn't understand. Tori probably wouldn't understand, but like it's fun, dude.
That's like with go back to the Pro Bowl. Like that's we like seeing that. We like UFC fights. We like boxing matches.
Yep.
We like that. Like it's almost like a relief for us to like watch it and be like, oh yeah, like if you sit down with a group of guys who are good close friends, this conversation will come up without question.
Yep.
Who would win in a fight? It doesn't matter if it's animals, people, guys, girls. Doesn't matter. Who would win in a fight? Like that every day. It always comes up.
Yep. And then you get guys in a room and who would win in this room, and then people start going, oh, me. It's like, no, I'd beat the hell out of you, so then you got to go in the garage and do it, and you do it, and you see who
prove it.
That's it. Yeah.
Sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right.
Because you said, what did you like what did you say, like mainline chaos or contained chaos or something like that?
I said organized mass chaos.
Or organized mass chaos. There's a sport. It is one of my bucket list items. It's called Calcio Storico Florentino, and so it's in Florence, Italy.
Joe.
It's in Florence, Italy. It takes place once a year, and it's like 4 teams from Florence. And the sport it comes from I think ancient Roman times. I watched one like 25-minute documentary on it, so I'm not. But it is soccer, rugby, and UFC all in one arena.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So you have a ball. The other team is trying to prevent you from getting the ball in their goal, and you, by any means necessary, you can fight, you can tackle, you can beat them into the ground. It's on dirt. It's played on concrete and dirt. It's not on like grass. And there's no timeouts. There's no like cut time. I'm injured, whatever. Like if you're only out if you cannot get up. Like that's
so wild.
And it's great because it is peak masculinity. It's peak and think about, because I don't think anybody thinks of Florence and goes like, wow, what a crime-ridden hellhole. Because it's like, because all the men get like a healthy expression. They get a healthy expression of their aggression, because men have aggression, like always. It's just something that's in us, and so That's something again I'm going to talk about here in a minute. I keep hitting, but like it's so good for guys because again Cassie watches it same thing with me, and she goes, "What are they doing? Why would they do that? Why would they?" I want to do this.
Yeah.
I would pay so much money to participate, not just to watch. I want to be in the, and it's like, dude, we used to do it again. Bare knuckle boxing used to be huge. That's where like it's we
Oh
as
yeah.
we as men need to find more spaces to just beat the shit out of each other.
Dude, honest, have you seen these guys? They're doing it now, and it's night fighting. Like they get in full suits of armor and they like use like axes and stuff like
Hell
that.
yeah.
Dude, they beat the hell out of each other. And I'm like, that's it. Like, if you got two dudes willing to do that, go into a ring. There's no like, they're not being forced to do it. They want to go do it. Why not? Let them go do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
like they know
yeah,
the consequences.
we allow all sorts of crazy stuff in our society, but for some reason,
Yeah.
men beating each other up, everybody, and again, it is because no opinion on this sentence, but we've let women have an opinion, and women's opinion on pointless violence is it's bad, it's crazy, it's whatever. So like
Yeah.
we again, I think if you're talking about something that's like a men's event or a men's issue, we should take men's opinion first. Same if there's a women's thing and they want to have like a women's thing, that I'm not going to put my opinion in it. You guys want to, like the Barbie movie, I don't care what you guys do with the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Like have a great time. Like, or like I would never give my opinion of like Sephora or Ulta. Like, okay guys, go crazy. I don't care.
Tori will tell me all the time. She'll be like, "Yeah, I got this new moisturizer or whatever," and I'll be like, "I don't
Okay.
know what it's all that, but
Okay,
that's
period.
awesome that you like it. I like that you like it. That's what
I like that you like it. Exactly. That's exactly the mentality that should be reversed. I like that you like it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's. But like you were saying a minute ago, like they see it as like pointless violence, but like to us, it's not pointless because that dude that's going to do night fights, like, and every weekend or whatever, if he didn't have an outlet for that, he might go out and stab somebody in the street, like.
Yeah.
He that's his outlet. He can actually attack someone in like a fully like controlled environment instead of, I don't know, stabbing someone on the street or shooting up a convenience store. It's like that's his outlet.
Yeah.
Let him do it.
And it's it's a hard conversation because even listening to you, the way America has been like beat down, or American men have been beat down, even listening to you say that, I'm like, well, maybe they couldn't just stab somebody. No, they like it's going to happen. Men have aggression and violence in their genes, and you have to do something with it. You have to point it somewhere, or it's going to end somewhere bad. And that's an ugly truth that people are just going to have to, I guess that's a perfect segue into what we were going to talk about, this masculinity crisis. So this is not really on the subject, but we're moving sort of into politics. As I said in the intro, it's been a week. Every time I feel like I'm having a good week, it something happens. So there's three stories I want to cover before we get into the masculinity thing, and it's really just three quotes. So the first quote is from Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. And she said, sorry, I'm trying to pull it up here. I want to make sure I don't misquote anybody. And she said, and I quote, "I am a Somali girl born in Somalia. I do not need Somali citizenship. It is my birthright. It is my blood. They are the people I share my culture with. They share my language and religion. They are the people I have compassion for. So when I put my ear out to hear what is happening inside of Somalia so that I can do something and fix it. This is what brings out my love for Somalis and for the country itself. I hope that we can get far. As long as I am in Congress and in my position, I feel a responsibility to help the country I am from." What?
Why don't you go to
Somalia
and country or Somalia and be for their Congress?
Just because we talk all the time. We talked a little bit last week. We talked all the time about how like leftists are sort of the enemy of America, but they're just. She just said it. She just said, like, again, the reason I quoted it is because that sounds like something that like a person on the right would like. Oh, I bet at one point she feels this way, and we have to kind of just like theorize about it. She just said the thing. So
Verbatim.
I'm not gonna get too far into it and try to watch. So the next quote, and there's gonna be some stuttering in here. It is part of the quote. I put it in here on purpose. It is. It's not. It's not Joe Biden. It is Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre talking about the 3 soldiers that just got killed in Jordan. And so she got on the news and was asked about it, and she said, "What I will say, obviously, our deepest condolences go out, and our heartfelt condolences go out to the families who lost 3 brave, 3 brave, 3 brave, 3 folks who are military folks, who are brave, who are always fighting, who are fighting on behalf of this administration, of the American people. Obviously, more importantly, we lost those souls." I heard this. I heard her on there say that, and Cassie can attest to this. I paused it after I let her finish. I paused it, and I had to just sit for a moment and contain myself, because the fact that because they finally released the people who were killed, and it's like a 24-year-old service member and a 28-year-old service member, and I think the other one was in his 20s as well. I'll check on that, but as veterans ourselves, a 24-year-old service member, his whole life ahead of him, his whole career ahead of him, getting married, having kids, and he's just gone because of government decisions that I'm not going to give an opinion on. But that's all you can muster, is this stuttering. You can't even you stutter around calling them brave. You stutter around calling them men and women. You stutter around how
calling them people, folks,
military folks. They're
no,
people.
it's military service members. They are people. When you read that, I started getting hot in my chest.
Yeah.
Not. Oh my gosh. It's so crazy to me. I was there. I was where this happened.
Yeah.
And I was blessed enough to be safe while I was out there. But the fact that if they would have been drug addicts who abused women here in the States, they'd have got a statue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And now,
they were service members.
I understand this is partly my fault, but nobody, even including myself, I can't even tell you their names, and nobody will ever know their names. They will have died, and for no reason, and that they'll just go with the sands of history. But George Floyd, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, everybody knows who they are when I say their name. That's crazy to me. And so the last one was from Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, I think is how you say her name. So the House put forward a bill that illegal immigrants who are arrested for DUI would get deported, and 150 Democrats voted against it. It still passed because we have the majority, but and so this was her reasoning for why they voted against it. Once again, the majority is wasting our time by putting forward a piece of legislation that has zero chance of becoming law and that is extraordinarily broad. No one condones driving under the influence. We should do everything we can to prevent people from getting behind the wheel while intoxicated. But this bill designed to scapegoat and denigrate immigrants who will not solve the serious problems of DUIs. Public safety threats, including those who have been convicted of serious DUI offenses, are already inadmissible and removable under the Immigration and Nationality Act, and this bill will not change or enhance that. Under the INA, a conviction of a crime involving moral turpitude, where the punishment can be for a year longer, makes an individual deportable. Courts have ruled over and over again that serious DUI offenses that put others at risk are CIMTs and make the perpetrators deportable, but this bill isn't about serious offenses, Mr. Speaker, far from it. The bill says that a conviction for a single DUI offense, misdemeanor, or felony makes you instantly deportable, and an admission to such an offense makes you instantly inadmissible, no questions asked. I can understand maybe the appeal of something that sounds like a zero tolerance policy, but let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, if we had that kind of policy here in the House of Representatives, there would be several members that would not be members of this chamber. Yeah, the whole, but people, where's the line? The bill says that a conviction for a single DUI offense, misdemeanor, or felony makes you instantly deportable, and admission to such an offense makes you instantly inadmissible. No questions asked. Yeah, you're not supposed to be here.
It's literally like you get caught. Oh my gosh. It's like you break into a store and you stab someone, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna, because you were shoplifting. No, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you killed someone. Like, you're doing something way worse. Like,
because my thing is like, on the right, and I assume, but for me anyway, my position is, if you catch them being here illegally, deport them. If they're caught drinking and driving, or admitting that they were drinking and driving, what are we even debating about? It's
not even a question.
If I got pulled over right now, my work is not going to ask me, oh, but was it a misdemeanor? Oh, but was it no, I'm just going to get in real trouble, including going to jail. But they're illegal, so they get special, like, protect. I mean, I'm sure you saw, but the cop that was just assaulted by 4 illegals, then they didn't get charged, and they walked out of the courtroom flicking the cameras off and stuff. Like, I can't even. Again, like I said, this week has been a week with this kind of stuff, and I listen to this stuff, and I'm just blown away. And you hit on it last week, that, like, I try to think that the average Democrat wouldn't agree with any one of these things, but, like, they say these things, the congresswomen in the press, and that just becomes the speaking line for, like, the Democrat parties. It's like, oh yeah, well, we don't want to deport people just because they fought. Yes, we do. What are you talking about?
It's the whole point. Like, it's like, it's not. Yeah, we don't want to deport you just because you got a DUI. We want to deport you because you're illegally here. That's why. Yeah. You just have to be dumb enough to do something wrong while you're already doing something else wrong. Like,
and that's like, because we're even talking about, there was a woman last week, and her 15-year-old son killed by an illegal immigrant, drinking and driving, who had already been arrested 4 previous times for drinking and driving, deported 3 other times, but because it's just open, he just walks right back over and comes back. And now, again, I said this about, you said it with the fighting, and I said it about, like, these people are, this 15-year-old, dead. He's not coming back. There is no respawn button there, and he's gone forever now. He doesn't get to get married. He doesn't get to have kids. He doesn't get to go on his dream vacation. He doesn't get to enjoy time with the boys. He doesn't get to watch. Like, he's gone forever. This 15-year-old boy who did nothing wrong. And there's a million examples of that, and they're defending it. I told myself before I came on here I was going to have to, like, calm down a little bit, but I'm just like, to continue or like add on from our conversation last week, it's like, we were debating about Civil War and stuff last week, and about how, like, there comes a point where that nobody wants it, FBI agent, but there comes a point where it's like, there is no debating, there is no political conversation back and forth about a congresswoman who admits her loyalty to Somalia and not America. There's no debate about not deporting illegal immigrants who are putting Americans at risk. And there's no debating about you not caring that 3 service members died because of your boss. There's no debating. There's no conversation. There's no, maybe we could find a middle ground. No. And then there was
literally like what you said, like the only reason they died is because they were told to be there. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it. They were doing what they were told, and that one really irks me. That when I saw that, I was very upset.
And, like, I have friends like you and friends and family and stuff who get deployed, and when they get deployed, it's you're stressed out because you're trying to get your stuff together and out process, and oh man, it's going to be like 6 months away from my family. Nobody expected them to die. Their family didn't have them leave, going, they might get blown up over there. But because of, I have to be very careful with, especially this very exact topic, but because of stuff I can't say, they're dead now. They're gone. Like, and again, we're veterans. Alex, I'm surrounded by military people. These guys were not numbers. These guys were not dog tag numbers. These guys were not. They weren't 3 service members. They were, obviously, but that's not who they were. They were people with favorite songs and favorite movies and foods they didn't like, and they're gone. And there's a real chance that come November we're going to have the same thing happen, and it's like I don't even know. It's been one of those weeks where we started this, it's Sunday. I feel blessed, and luckily I had my message this morning that because I go online, because the church I was baptized at is in Tampa, so I go online, and the message was about basically God's omnipotence, and it's it's one of those times where I'm like, yeah, there's really no way to put your faith in any in the earthly stuff, because there's nobody that could fix this except Jesus. There's nobody. We're in a bad spot, and that's again, I know we started this talking about how lame flag football is and how rugby's cool and all that. And again, I said this a couple episodes ago. I've made it my mission this year to enjoy my life, and I'm not telling anybody not to enjoy life. I'm not telling anybody not to, enjoy Six Nations or enjoy football or do it. Again, we all should, because they win even more if they demoralize you. So I will not let them demoralize me, but it has been a tough week for demoralization.
Yeah, there's been a few times here recently, especially. I've been on my phone and I've seen something on whether it be TikTok or Instagram, or I literally just have to turn my phone off. I'm like, I can't. I can't. That's why, I think we talked about this. I just for a couple days, I'd like to have someone with leftist views. I'd like to have their phone and just see what comes up on their feed and what they're seeing all day. Because I'm like, I want to know if I'm seeing something they're not, but there's no way. It's like you were saying earlier, you're blown away all the time. Me too. I just think to myself, am I not seeing something?
Yeah.
But then I think I'm like, no, I'm not wrong here. It's I'm not crazy, but
it's the ultimate gaslighting. They do that. It's am I crazy? Am I? Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that. They believe
so hard in what they're saying. It's there's no way they just believe that with no evidence or nothing.
Well, it's funny.
I don't understand.
Just today I saw, what is his name? I'm so sorry. The Trump administration, worker. I don't know what his position was, but he just died in D.C. because he was stabbed to death. His first name is Mike. I can't remember his last name, but he was stabbed to death and killed in D.C. in a carjacking. And
holy cow.
And so I saw on X somebody was talking about how he conservatives are all upset he died, but it's because they let guns, they want guns that this happens. And then so that's stupid on its own. But then in the underneath, one of the replies was another leftist woman who said, it's amazing they're getting so upset about this, but they don't get upset when kids are killed in school. And it's do you genuinely think that a conservative like me or a conservative like you or we see innocent kids slaughtered in schools and we go, you think that's our reaction? You think that we just don't care?
No one says that. No one goes, school shooting. I love my guns. No one says that.
No.
We love kids. We try to protect kids so much. We try to protect them in the womb. You think we don't love kids?
It's I have
so
two
much.
of them. You think if my kids went to school, I wouldn't care if what are you even fucking talking about? That's another one of those things of again, don't want it, but I think we're headed that way for a civil war because if I genuinely think some of the things I think about them, and they genuinely think that I don't care when kids are killed, there ain't no conversation to be had. It's just a matter of time before
Yeah.
the powder keg explodes, because it's a coming, I think. So while we're super sad and everything, we were supposed to be talking about, or we're going to be talking about the masculinity crisis, and speaking of like illegals killing somebody, I saw this story. I think it's an older story. I'm not saying it's a new story, but it was something, a meme I saw, and I was just blown away. So this girl, Molly Tibbetts was her name, and she was killed and raped by an illegal immigrant. Stabbed to death and raped, innocent girl, killed, slaughtered by an illegal immigrant. Which, again, should be the worst part of the story. But on the topic of like the masculinity crisis, I wanted to read her dad. So again, I'm not going to try to get emotional on here, but what I am to Jade, this guy was to this girl, Molly, who was stabbed to death and then raped. Again, I don't know if she was raped before. I don't think they know if she was raped before or after. It doesn't matter. She was raped and then killed.
Yeah,
and
it
so
does not matter.
This dad, all he knows about this guy is that he made his daughter, her last moments on this earth was the worst thing you can do to a living person in raping her. And then he killed her. And that's what this guy did to his little girl, his baby girl. And his quote was, or the quote from this article is, Rob Tibbetts, the dad, also addressed animosity towards immigrants at his daughter's funeral last Sunday when he said, "The Hispanic community are Iowans, according to the Register. They have the same value as Iowans. As far as I'm concerned, they're Iowans with better food." Your daughter was just killed by an illegal immigrant, and your first thought is to go, "No, it's okay, illegals are here. They make good tacos."
He talked about their food.
So again, the reason I brought this up, as a man, and he's not a man in my view. He's not a man. He didn't protect his family. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. And then after she dies, he just pisses on her grave by protecting the attacker and not his daughter. But I think we're at a very dangerous point. I know this is probably a dead horse that's been beat, but again, the whole strong men create good times create weak men, that whole thing. We are on the very bottom of weak men create hard times, because the amount of weak you have to be to have this happen to your little girl, and then you defend the guy, or you're worried about the community that the guy comes from and not your little girl. The jelly that must fill your back where your spine is supposed to be is incredible to me. And so, do you have any thoughts on that before I move on? Because I'm going to move on to something else.
Dude, like while you're reading that, like, I don't have any kids, but Jade, I love Jade to death. She is the sweetest girl in the world, and I would do anything for her. If someone ever, God forbid, I don't even want to say it, but
yeah, I know.
You wouldn't be able to you would not be able to quote me on the things I would say, let alone you would be able to contain me from the things I would do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that he even has a quote that they can read, mine would literally be censor lines. The whole thing would be censor lines. And like, I can't imagine like just being that calm and talking about the community. Are you kidding me? Forget the community. It's the person that did these things. Like,
and because it's not because like that was a great point as far as like the community, because it would be this guy, and it would be the fact that like she's dead because our government can't protect our borders, and so they can't protect our people. But right, wrong, or indifferent, I would also be bleep about the community, about how like she should have been safe walking around, but nobody cares about each other anymore. We're not a community, so therefore she didn't have people. I mean, I'm 99% sure when I say this. I can't read too much of the story because but it was in daylight. It was in broad daylight, and so it's like I've read enough stories of people being raped on buses and trains and people just sitting there watching it to know that I guarantee somebody saw either the beginning of it or weird signs or something and they didn't do anything. And so I would be bleep about the community and everything else I listed. And like you said, the fact that, oh, well, in this trying time, we really don't shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Who cares? Who cares about your trying time? It does not matter the time. It does not excuse the action. That is plain and simple.
But so I had an interesting thought, and I read some things about it and all that kind of stuff. And I heard a French guy actually speak on this regarding France, but it's the same thing over here with some differences. But he was talking about, and I was thinking about how World War One. I meant to get these numbers earlier, but I'm going to pull them up because I want to make sure I hit them correctly. Excuse me. So in World War One, America got involved. We had 116,000 Americans die, mostly men. And again, because of the draft and because of the time, they were the good, strong, patriotic men who were healthy and all those kind of things. Then in World War II, we had 416,000 mostly men die in World War II. And again, because of the draft, it was our good, our strong, our patriotic, and then in the Korean War, I believe it was 36,000. So that was in the 50s. And then in the Vietnam War, let me pull this up. What the? In the Vietnam War, it was 58,000. So, I mean, we're talking about close to 1 million good men, the good, the strong, and then, especially in Vietnam, like the people willing to go, there are a lot of draft dodgers, a lot of stuff like that. And so my point to all this, to bring that up, is we killed almost 1 million of the best men that America could produce. And so then left behind were either the draft dodgers or just the men not healthy enough or strong enough or anything. So basically there's a word for it, and I can't think of what it is. I think it's dysgenics, but it's basically like eugenics is taking the two best people and creating a baby to try and make the best baby. But dysgenics is like we left the worst men behind to live and make babies with our women. And I think we're reaping the consequences of that. And that's why you get a dad who would care about the opinions of his attacker over the life of his daughter. Because it's an interesting thing to think about where, because people talk all the time about how World War II vets would look at our society today and be like, what the hell did I die for? And it's like, well, it's partly because you died. And so you're like the 18-year-old Iowan farmer who went there and died, the 18-year-old woman in his Iowan town now made a baby with like the loser in the town who was like too weak and too feeble to go to war. And now they made weak, feeble little kids, and they were raised by a dad who's weak and feeble, and so they grew up weak and feeble, and then we talk about, like, you filter that down through years of, okay, I was taught this by my grandfather to be weak and feeble, and so then I taught my kids, and he taught his kids, and they taught, and now we're in 2024, and I think one of the big reasons for this shit show we're in is some of us, I don't think you and I, because I can trace my heritage back, so it's not me. And but we're living in the results of having. I hate to make a joke out of it, but the spare coochie meme, that guy was the one producing while the good men, while like the Steve Rogerses of the world were out dying fighting Nazi Germany. So Thoughts
Yeah,
on that?
and now I completely agree. I completely agree. Like, it's so like my grandpa. He was a Vietnam vet. He went to Vietnam, did his time, came back, then had kids, did all that.
Mm,
I was lucky enough that he passed those on to those values and stuff on to my mom, and then with my dad, I come from a line of police officers.
yep.
Like my grandpa was a police officer. My great grandpa on my dad's side was military police officer. Can't quite remember. But yeah, I come from a line of awesome guys.
Yep.
Like, and it's just like if you don't have that, like if you and you can change it. The thing is, though, is you can change it. One
Mm-hmm.
generation, you can change that. It's
Yep.
like it's hard. It's hard to change that, but you can if you put the work in and you just be better. You can change that easily. But a lot of people just don't care. They just don't care about like their lineage or their heritage. It's like, yeah, you may not be here to see your great grandkids, but guess what? They're gonna be here. Don't you have a little
Yep.
care in your heart to be like, hey, I'm gonna teach my kids good stuff, so they teach their kids good stuff. Like my dad raised me
Well.
well. I have good values. Like I will
Mm-hmm.
pass that on to my kids.
Yep. Well, and especially like, yeah, it's such a weird thing because we have more like D&D nerds, and I'm not necessarily bashing them, but we have more D&D nerds in our society than ever. But like the like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones type of vibe of like, oh, my ancestors and my heritage and my bloodline, that's like gone. And it's like I
Yeah,
don't know how you kept all like the dressing up in like outfits and stuff, but you didn't keep any of the cool stuff. Like we talked about, they don't want to
yeah,
fight with swords or anything, and they also don't care about their bloodline. And it's like, I, and again, talking about masculinity as a man, I'm like, I, how do you not feel that? That like burns in my blood every day as far as like, what can I do to better my bloodline? What can I do to honor my ancestors and my like
yeah,
older relatives? Like, or even like there are days where I'm walking around all pissed off and whatever because of what's going on in the world, and I think about one of my my great, like I talked about my great uncle last time, Uncle Walter, and I think about him looking down on me, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop being like this and
hmm
do something about it and like better myself because he's looking down on me, and I'm not gonna disrespect his legacy by walking around like an emotional little girl. And I'm like, I don't
yeah.
understand how and again, I mean, we talked about it with the sports and stuff. Guys, why don't you have that like burning blood to be a like better man?
Yeah, like I was me and Tori went to the grocery store yesterday, and she went into the bathroom. I was waiting outside the bathroom for her, and dude, I saw a dude come out of the bathroom, and I just looked at him, and I was just like wait, like what's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with you? And then
Uh-huh.
his son came out right after him, and I was like, dude, you poor kid. And that's all I could think to myself. He was an adult man wearing pants that were 4 sizes too big,
Mm-hmm.
a what's it called? It was like a flat bill with like Mario on it, and
Bro, the
dude,
Cookie
and
Monster
his
flat
kid
bill is
came out.
crazy.
And I was like, oh my god, his kid came out, and his kid was dressed almost the exact same way, and then like he just like his kid was coming up, and he was like, come on, and he just walked. He didn't wait for his kid to get to him. He just started walking, and I was like, I could have came up and grabbed him and gone like that before your fat ass even turned around.
Yeah. Well, and
And I
that's
was like,
like it's again like you. That's such a great point because like again, one of the big reasons I can kill it in the gym every day, 5 days a week, is because one of the things that motivates me is no other man is going to come up to me and hurt my kids, take my kids, like,
yeah,
and it's something. It's I love this video of they're interviewing this pedophile in prison, and they're asking him how he targeted kids, and he said, if I saw a kid that I wanted to target, I would look at their parents, and if they had no dad or their dad was some fat slob weakling guy, I didn't
hmm
care. But if he had a strong dad, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the next target because it's not worth the fight. And it's like that's what you're supposed to represent as a dad.
yeah,
You are the shield to your family. You are the you're to and again, you say we say men are protectors and providers, and a lot of women and weak men are like, but like, what do you, there's not saber-toothed tigers anymore. What do you protect? There's threats every single day. And the fact that you don't think there are threats every day is proving how well you were protected probably by your dad, or you just got really lucky. Because there are, again, we just read a story, a girl like killed in the street. The threats are not saber-toothed tigers anymore, sure, but there are still plenty of things to protect your kids from every single day, and your kids and your wives and your whole family. And so, like you said, you walk around Walmart for 10 minutes and you're just like, I don't know how you wake up every day not embarrassed to be like you. I don't.
Like you can't be like you don't wake up and go, I need to be better. But like you were saying, right? Like it's like the threats aren't saber-toothed tigers. Those same girls that say that will say all men are monsters.
Yeah.
Or all men are rapists, or all men are murderers, and it's like, okay, well if that's the case, then yeah, I think a rapist is a lot worse than a saber-toothed tiger, in my opinion. I'd much rather be killed by a saber-toothed tiger. But like it's just like I just like I don't understand. It's the and you know what? That's part of my attitude later, so I'm not going to get into it.
All right. Well, so, and that's such a great point too. I had this argument on Instagram the other day because this girl was talking about like rights or something. Oh, like because she was saying that men didn't give them rights, that they had to like take it or whatever, and that like they fought for it. And it's like, well, first of all, even just like governmentally, we did grant you rights. Like we got together in the chamber of Congress and like gave you rights in America. That being said, you only have rights because violent good men are willing to die and fight against bad violent men to protect you. Like I think I've said this before, but if we didn't have good violent men willing to protect the most vulnerable among us, it would be like Mad Max, and there would be like parties of raiding bad men who would just come to your house, grab you out as a woman, not you, as a woman, come grab you out of your house, and like you're just a sex slave for the rest of your life till you die or you're worthless anymore. Like that's the fact that people think that we live in America and it was just like an accident, and it's not based on like law and order and good men coming together. I mean, the best among us who fought the British off, the oppressive British. And so then like the way they brought the country forward, it was all because of good men who, again, some of them made mistakes or whatever you want, but it was the actions of good, violent men who gave you everything you have today. And now you sit here in 2024 and go, either all men are bad or there's nothing to protect us from. And it's like, what do you again, you stand on the shoulders of giants thinking you just got here. And it's like, no, you were put here. And it is just so and you know, I know the fatherlessness rates in our communities is stupid high. It's obviously highest for black people, but every race has stupid high fatherlessness rates. And you know, we could talk about the court system awarding custody to women more than men and all those kind of things. But I hope everybody out there understands that while women are culpable for some of the masculinity problems, as far as like not allowing men to be men and not giving us our space and not allowing us to be, because that was something I wanted to hit on real fast, is that we as a society have decided that both sexes deal with problems the same way. And so if you're a man and you're having problems, you need to go to therapy just like a woman would go to therapy. But men don't cope by going to therapy. Men cope by, we talked about fighting, playing sport, shooting at the range. Like there has to be some sort of expression. There has to be some, even because one of the things I was thinking about this podcast was even hanging out with the boys and being like ooga booga frat boys with the boys. It's a release. It's a like animalistic release where we can just ooga booga our way to like a good time. And so, but there has to be that in order for a man to cope and deal with his feelings, there's no part of me that ever feels, I wish Alex was here, because one of the times he came over to the house, he had somebody with him, and they got me, it was like 3 a.m, and they got me crying over some stuff that happened and some stuff I wanted to talk about. And when it was over, they were like, do you feel better? And I was like, no, I don't feel better. Sitting here crying in front of people doesn't make me feel better. I want to go shoot at the range. I want to go punch the punching bag. I want to go play rugby. I don't want to sit here and cry. Sitting here crying doesn't do anything for anybody.
Yeah. And it's and like everybody has like, you know, the different releases or whatever, like whatever gets you feeling right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody's got their different things. Like I don't cry in front of Tori.
Mm.
I don't think I ever have. If I have, it's been like one time. But I don't, and there's reasons for that.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I'm dealing with something, I will handle this. Like, I will take care of it. Like, I have my ways. Like, she's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, I'm good. Don't worry about it. I got it. I take care of myself. I see if I'm in a state where I'm like, okay, I need something, I go to my guys and I'm like, dude, like, because you can't show that weakness and like, because if you want to be the leader of the household, the number one in the household, like you can't do that. Like you have to learn to cope in different ways. Like I'll go and watch like backyard brawls. Like I'll go and watch those ones for like 30, 45 minutes, dude. That is a relief right there. I'm just like, oh, did you see what he did? That 58-year-old just did a head kick to this 20-something-year-old. It's like, that's crazy. Or I get on the game with my guys and we just play. And it's just like, it's just fun. We just shoot the shit and, you know, talk crap and all that stuff. And it's just like, we've all got our different ways. But as a guy, you need that. You need something. You need something. It doesn't matter what it is. You need something. Well, it does matter to an extent.
Yeah.
But you need, you need something you need that.
Well,
and you just implode.
Well, and like you said, though, like being head of the household and being like the head, it's nobody wants to live on a shaky foundation. So if you are the head, if you are the foundation, and your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, but should be your wife, feels like her life is like this because she doesn't know if one day you're going to break down crying and one day she doesn't feel safe, she doesn't feel protected, because how is she going to be her fully female self while she doesn't know how you're going to react like one day from another? And so you have to, and that's like you just said, it's such a great point. Just like in work where like your boss won't come crying to you, me and you will go like out into the woods and shoot, and then, I mean, we could talk while we're shooting or whatever, something bothering me, get my shit out and shoot, and we're good to go. But I don't need to burden my wife and the mother of my children, who's got like raising the kids to take care of, with like, oh, this thing's really giving me anxiety, especially because the way women are nurturing and caring and everything. If you tell them like this, like you tell them this story about the girl, and you're telling them it's really bothering you, they now are thinking about that. And you don't need to burden your wife with stories of innocent women being slaughtered by illegal immigrants. Like that's just something they don't need on their plate. And so if you need to handle your stuff in your men circle, because not everybody can do it alone. That's why another problem is men need clubs, men need spaces, men need male only places where they can just go and be men. And people can say whatever they want, right, wrong, or indifferent, but that's where like the male locker room thing comes in. But that's a lot of this stuff is just bullshit, but we just need the space to be able to like express those things, and then we're good to move on. But that's why you get a lot of guys committing suicide. You get a lot of guys doing bad things because they're bottling all this shit up. Therapy doesn't help. Talking about it doesn't help. Going on the internet and crying about it doesn't help. And so they just hold all this stuff until they explode. And it's like, if we would just give a great example I have, and then we're going to stop ranting about this and move on to attitude and gratitude. But the best example I have of this is one place I used to work, definitely not where I work right now. One place I used to work, had a female luncheon, and so I said, oh, that's great. Can I host a men's luncheon where we can talk about men's mental health issues, how men cope with things differently, all the kind of things we're talking about right now? And I was told no, because it sounds like men just going and having a bitching session, and we can't like endorse a men's only space to do that. And I was like, you just did that for women. It's like, well, yeah, but like, it's not it's not sexist if the girls only do it, but it's sexist if the guys only do it. And it's like,
oh yeah,
what are we even talking about? It's exactly the same. But again, we're not exactly the same. We all understand that in different ways, but we just can't come to the same conclusion because people feel different feelings about it. But we're not the same. Guys and girls are not the same. We don't handle things the same. And so, and nothing's ever going to improve, whether politically or relationship wise or culturally or anything, until we understand that men and women are different and we handle things different and we need different things.
Well, I think a big thing too is nowadays that they've went away with men and women are equal when it matters,
Mm-hmm.
like when it is beneficial, and I think that's a big thing that we need to get away with. Like a lot, we need to address the fact that men and women are different creatures, but nowadays the line of man and woman has been blurred for like the majority, so it's like you can't distinguish that. But it's a simple fact. Men and women are simple creatures. You look at any animal in the animal kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
men and women are different. The male and female are completely different.
Yep.
You can 95% of the time you can look at the animal and be like, that's a boy or that's a girl.
Yeah.
Same with guys. Same with humans, right? It's like you can majority of the time that number's going down. Half the time you can look at it and be like, oh, what are you? I don't know. And then you are wrong for not knowing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I didn't drop your pants and see what you had down there. Like, no.
Well, and that's something I hate that I even had to think about it, but I thought about it this week. I was driving somewhere and I stopped to talk to a guy on the side of the road and I went, "Hey, how's it going, sir?" And I thought about it as I was driving away. I was like, I knew he was a man. Like there's no part of my brain that went, oh, maybe no, he's a man. He's sir. As soon as I put the window down, he's sir. And it's like I don't even know why we play pretend and go, oh no, like you don't. Yes,
Yeah.
you do. And like you said, they try to make themselves as like androgynous as possible to be like, you can't tell. And it's like, okay, when you're not playing pretend, we know. Yeah, when you play dress up,
your Adam's apple tells another story.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're being 6'3"
That 5
and
o'clock
big as
shadow
shit.
is really kicking in.
But anyway,
I'm not seeing many 6'5" ladies. Okay.
no. And even because even when you do see a tall lady, it's like, but you can see that they're built like a lady. They're not built like me.
Yeah. It's like you don't see no linebackers walk down, and if you do, they have a 5 o'clock shadow on an Adam's apple.
Yeah.
You're like that's something.
That's one of the boys, baby.
Yeah, one of the boys.
But anyway, with that out of the way, like I said, we created a male only space to get some things off our chest. Now we're going to move on to gratitude and attitude. Do you have a gratitude ready, or would you like me to go first?
I have one ready, but I want to see what you got. You go ahead, Mr. Host, sir.
Okay, Mr. Host, sir. All right. I am grateful for a lot of things. I know we've been venting a lot, but I'm grateful for a lot of things. And on the same subject, I am grateful to be married to a woman who allows me to flourish in my most masculine self by, again, even like last night, our newborn son was crying and crying and crying, and then our daughter, because she wasn't getting the attention because he was acting up, and then like it seemed like the dog was like joining in on like, oh, well, I want attention now too. So it was just like everybody, and I was like, tomorrow I might need to go to like the cigar lounge or something because I'm getting a little bit, and I'm not going to sit here and vent to you about it, but I might need to go to the cigar lounge tomorrow. I'm getting a little built up, and I didn't because I ended up being able to like handle it on my own. But I'm just so thankful that her answer was not, oh, well, what do you think that I feel, or what do you think that like that makes me feel, or what about me, and what about no? But she goes, okay. That's how you handle things. That's how you're going to healthily cope through that. That's fine. And then even today, when I wasn't going to go, she was like, so when you go out, would you grab blah, blah, blah? And I was like, oh, I'm not going. But she was like, oh, are you sure? And I was like, the fact that it's not like, because I know a lot of times it's, I'm feeling this way, and I've been in this personal situation, so I can speak on this personally in other relationships, but you say, I feel this way, and they immediately they take it as like an attack. And it's like, I'm just so thankful that I have a woman who allows me to be my most masculine self, my best, the best father I am, the best husband I am, all those kind of things, and gives me like respects my leadership and respects my role, and therefore she gets to be her most feminine, her most elegant, her most motherly, and all those kind of things. So that's what I'm thankful for.
That's a good one, dude. Yeah, I like that a lot. And I can,
Yeah.
the best thing about that is I can see Cass saying that, just being like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
like you want
Yeah.
to grab this on your way home, like you go have fun, like, and
Yeah.
that's yeah. Tori's very it's very similar with that. Like she knows I like to play my games. It's kind of a little bit of my release. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just sit here and just kind of zone out. So she's good like that. She's like, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go play the game. She's like, all right, you're good. I got
I'll see you in
this.
a little
And
bit.
I'm like, yeah. But yeah. So my gratitude, it's a little less personal, but
Yep.
man, a good home cooked meal. That's my gratitude right there, man. I love my
Preach,
food,
brother.
and there is nothing like a. You've got 2 or 3 pans laid out with the sides, and then some type of main course. Like I'm a big steak guy. Also,
Yeah.
very hyped for these steaks Saturday. I'll tell you that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, dude, like I love a good steak. My wife makes some awesome pork chops, like big old chicken pot pie, like something like that. Just I love just a good meal. Like you can just sit down and just if you have friends, family over, y'all can just eat and talk and just enjoy each other's company and just enjoy some good food. Fills you up, tastes good, man. I just feel like it's hard to beat a solid meal.
That's so true. And it's funny because as kids, I don't know if you're the same way, but as a kid, it's like you always wanted to go out to eat and you always wanted like either McDonald's or something like that, or you wanted to
Yep.
go out to Applebee's or whatever. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, my stepmom and my father both are amazing cooks. My dad's normally like the meat connoisseur, the barbecuer, and then my stepmom makes everything else. And I would pay so much money to have their home cooked food as opposed to paying
Oh yeah.
for the shit you get when you go out now. It's like it's not even worth it anymore. You're gonna get bad service. Like it's like, dude, what am I even spending my money on? I'm gonna pay to go home to my mom and
Yeah.
dad and get a home cooked meal. And then, like you said with Tori, but Cassie every day cooks lunch for us. And like,
Mhm.
I know a lot of guys are unfortunate, and their wives make them food, and it's like frozen chicken nuggets or whatever. I feel for you, but like my wife like made loco moco today, and she's making like Irish beef stew tomorrow, and like it's always like something good, but also she's so great because like we again being in the gym 5 days a week, we eat a lot of chicken and rice, a lot of beef and
Mhm.
rice, a lot of whatever like healthy calorie deficit food, and she cooks it and she eats it and she like is like right there along with me because she knows how much it matters to me. And it's like, I mean, to combine the two, to be able to have a home cooked meal made by somebody who supports you so much that they're willing to change like their diet to your diet, it's just like, man, we are blessed for sure.
Yeah. That's it's kind of similar like Tori. We have she's Catholic and I go to Catholic church with her.
Mm,
Um, but like we have Lent coming up, so like in Lent you give up something. She's
mm,
giving up sodas. Like that's her big thing. She's giving up sodas.
mm.
So I was like, okay. I was like, I'll do it with you. I was like, we'll just no sodas in the house. We'll make it easy on us. She was like, you do that? And I was like, of course I do that. I was like, you
Of
kidding me?
course.
That's
Yeah.
not drinking Dr Pepper for a month. I was like, it's nothing. But yeah, it's just like it's awesome, man. I love food. I'm gonna miss my Dr Pepper. I love my Dr Pepper, but terrible for you. They just taste so good.
Totally worth.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely worth it.
All right. Attitude. Mine's gonna. I don't know what yours is, but mine's gonna be a little sort of less serious, but sort of on the same topic. I don't watch a lot of like normal TV other than when football or rugby or whatever's on, and then I actually watched Michael Knowles do like a um, trying to guess companies from their woke commercials, and my attitude this week is like it was a Mercedes commercial where the whole point was like, we don't want to be exceptional, we just want to be one of a million like. And then I saw a tax commercial today where their whole tagline was like, let's just get it over with. Like, we hate taxes too. Let's just get it over with. And it's like,
Let's just get it over with.
can we stop being so like gay? Can we stop just like
Yeah.
everything is like again, me and you both know the girl Maddie, she's sick. I don't have anything against gay people, but like
Yeah.
I think even she would be like, this is so gay. Like, can we just like,
She said that before. She's been like,
yeah.
"Oh, that's gay," and I'm like, "Yeah." Joe
And
Rogan has a great bit on this.
She's the
Dude,
lesbianest lesbian of all time, and even she would be like, dude, this is so gay.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. Like, well, Joe Rogan has a bit on this, and he's like, "Oh, saying gay is not okay anymore." He goes, "What do you call gay things?" He's like, "What do you call them?" He goes, like, he said two guys kissing, right? He goes, "Gay." He goes, "Also, ballet, all women, that's gay."
Gay.
He's like, "What do you call gay things?" He's like, "It doesn't matter." He's like, "How do you describe things?" Dude, it's a solid bit. You gotta listen to it.
But it's like,
yeah, it's
for the Mercedes commercial, the point of it was they were like, we don't want women to be like, oh, she's the only engineer in this company. We want to be one of a million women in the company. We don't want to be special. And it's like, I know men and women are different. We just talked about all that, but it's like, how do you like you think the maker of Mercedes, like the guy who made Mercedes, was like, man, when this car comes out, I hope we're just like every other average car out. No, dude, he wanted to be the best.
no,
Like one in one. He's one of one. That the
yeah.
Mercedes is a one of one. And then like taxes. Oh, let's just get this over. Dude, shut up and just do your fucking taxes. Like, what? It's like being fucking gay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be about that. I feel like that's a big thing too. Is like people, it's like, "Oh, I want to get a burrito for lunch." It's like, "Oh, would you like to donate $1 to Gay Pride?" No, it doesn't have to be about that.
Yeah.
Just make things about what they are. You don't have to incorporate that like into
Just
everything.
make good thing. Just make good
Yes,
thing.
just
Like, that's all I'm
make
asking.
good thing. Make good thing.
And be exceptional about it. Like, oh man, actually, I'm gonna add an attitude. So we went to a restaurant yesterday to get milkshakes on drive-through, and this dude, I mean, mumbling to me in the like, and then I said what Cassie wanted, and he goes 435, and I said, well, actually, I need something else. And he goes, huh? And I go, I need an Oreo milkshake too, and he goes 845 or whatever he said, and so we pull up, and so I'm already pissed at this dude. I'm like, dude, what a rude piece of crap.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lady behind me, and I can hear her ordering on the computer while he's trying to ring up my card and everything. And she goes, I want a pineapple banana smoothie or milkshake. And he goes, okay, that'll be 435. And then he goes, wait, you want two different milkshakes, or you want one and the same milkshake? And she's like, one. And I want it as one. She was very nice. So she was like, I want it as one. And he goes, huh? And she didn't say anything because I don't think anybody's ready for a restaurant worker that's like depending on your money to go, huh? But he went, huh? So she didn't say anything. And so he went, you want that as two or as one? And she goes, I want it as one, please. And he goes, 435. And like, and I'm like, how? Okay, I know this job probably sucks. I know that you being a grown man making milkshakes for a living, probably not your dream. But you did this. I don't know what decisions you made to be here, but you did this. At least be exceptional in what you're doing. At least be like the best milkshake maker on the planet. And maybe you'll get out of this situation. Maybe somebody will go, hey, we want you as a manager at this one because you're such a good one over here. Like, but no, you're just going to like resign yourself to being the shittiest milkshake maker on the planet. Like, oh, so
many people want to sit in a shitty position and then just complain about it instead of doing something to change that. Like that guy who's sitting there making milkshakes all day, if he worked his ass off, he could be the guy telling people, hey, you need to make this milkshake. Or he could come in 2 or 3 times a shift, check in, and make 3 times what he was making prior. Like, I tell a lot of my guys, I tell a lot of my airmen this too. I go, dude, I'm like, if you come into work and you bust your ass and you put in the hours and you try and learn your job, I'm like, trust me, dude, you'll get, like, they will notice that. People will notice you working. Like, I get a lot of work thrown on my plate, but I bust my ass when I'm at work. Like, I get a lot thrown at me, but I look at the stuff they throw at me and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to knock this out. I'm going to make it look good. I'm going to do it. I'm going to fix this thing up real good. You know, I do that. And then whenever it goes back to my bosses, they're like, hey, that looks really good. And so whenever it comes time for a promotion, they're like, hey, this guy, he's ready for a promotion.
Yep.
Like that. Like that's people notice. People notice it,
Yep.
and you don't think they do, or you don't care if they do. Like I get it if you're just trying to work some dead end job, just trying to make a couple bucks here on the side. Whatever, do your thing, man. Flip burgers, do whatever. But like at the same time, why not try and be the best? Why not get like a manager position? So if like what you're doing, like say you're going to college and you're working at like Burger King, right? Flipping burgers, why not try and get that management position and be like, hey, college, I really hate college. I'm gonna stick with Burger King, go to management, then you go to regional,
Yep.
and then you go like you work your way up, and it's like I just feel like a lot of people don't see that.
Well, I think it's actually harkens back to our other conversation about. I think it's a low T thing, man. Because I think because I've been we've all been there in shitty positions. I've worked at delis before. I've worked in grocery stores before, and I get that it can suck working those. But if you make it good and you strive to be like at least like for me the best stock boy that you could possibly be, it makes it a little less crappy, a little less embracing the suck. If you just try and I think
don't
that's
get it.
nobody wants to try at anything anymore. Everybody thinks. I think we've grown up on too many Disney movies, and so to your point, like people think, oh, if I try for one day, somebody will notice. It's like no, you have to try for maybe 2, 3, 4 years, but somebody will notice.
Yeah.
But it's not a Disney movie where they're going to pick you out and put you in regional in one day because they just see something in you, kid. Like it's not real life. But trying does pay off.
Like I go into work every day, right? And the work I do at work, I look at the tech who's above me and I go, am I doing more work with him? Yes. Am I putting out a better quality than him? Yes. That's what I want people to see. I want the higher ups to be like, oh, dude, he's doing this and he's doing that. So that when it comes time for my promotion, they go, yeah, we're going to give him a promotion statement. And I can be like, yeah, I earned that. That's why, like, if anyone ever calls, like, I'm a stickler about it, dude. If they're ever like, hey, Nash, I'm like, try again. Like, I earned where I'm at. Like, I worked hard for this, you know? It's like, you're good. I'm a stickler about it. But it's like,
but also it's that it's that competitive drive too that you have and I have, and I don't know why other people don't have. Like you said, like okay, yeah, this guy may be over me, but I'm going to be better than him just because I'm better than him, and I'm going to be better than him. I'm going to show them that I'm better than them. I mean, I don't know if anybody can see it, but right there is like my all-star jersey, and like for semi-pro, and yeah, semi-pro we don't get paid anything. It's not like official or anything, but I'm doing it, so I'm going to be the best at it. So like, and that's why I put that jersey up there because I was the best, and I earned my all-star spot. And so like I don't know. Anyway, we're dragging on a little bit here, and I want to get to your attitude and your apparently shitty tier list. So let's get to your attitude.
It's not shitty. I just think you'll have a problem with one of them.
All right, go ahead.
Which is understandable, but it's good. But my attitude was hypocrisy, which which I was talking about earlier. I feel like we'll drag on this one a lot.
Yeah.
But I'll give a little brief, and then we can move on to But hypocrisy, big thing is like with like people more so on the left nowadays, right? It's like, segregation's bad, but black people need their own spaces. Mm-hmm. What? You just contradicted yourself. It's like, it's like, okay, this is a black only space, but we don't want you to exclude black people. Like, or it's just in general, man. I hate hypocrisy. If you're gonna be solid on something, be solid across the board.
Yep.
Like, just like I hate it. I hate hypocrisy. I hate going back on different things. Like, and if your opinion changes on something, let your opinion change, man. Don't be like, oh yeah, I also see. I'm completely against murdering babies, but I can see it sometimes. No, no, it's you have to be consistent, and I hate hypocrisy in that. Like I do. It gets under my skin so bad.
Well, I just have one thing to add on to that. This page, the guy's page is Thinking Things Over. I had a little conversation with him today because I shared his post because I loved it so much. But on your thing about like, oh, they're against segregation, but they want black only dorms, or they're against sexism, but they are fine with like women's only spaces, or they're against the Nazis or whatever, but they all pulled that they would have put unvaccinated people in camps if the government would have done it. Like his thing was if you all these people who were born now and they think they would have been against slavery, they would have been against the Nazis, they would have been
Yes.
against everything, and it's like, no, you would not have. You go, all you do is toe exactly what you say you're going to do, and that's why you're
Hmm.
hypocritical, because you don't actually believe anything. You just go with what next thing is, and then so you don't. That's I. It's like the worst of both worlds, being a hypocrite and having no beliefs. It's like you're
Yeah.
just not even like a person.
You don't have an opinion. If you're a hypocrite with no moral system, you don't have an opinion. Your opinion
No,
is does not matter.
no.
Like, and that's just point blank.
All right. We've been doing a lot of, I mean, I'm sweating. I mean, we got pretty heated. We got
Yeah, dude,
pretty,
I'm
almost
burning
cried
up.
at one point. But, when you're feeling like this, you want to go take a nice, strong vacation, nice little week away from reality.
Of course, of course.
If you could go to 3 places anywhere on the world, money is not an issue, any of those things. Mr. Nash, where is your tier 3 place you're going?
My tier three. This is the one I think you'll have an issue with, just because of where one of the locations is. I'm a big snowboarder.
Hmm.
Not a big snowboarder. I love snowboarding. I don't get to go a whole lot, but I love snowboarding. Um, I would love to take like just like a week long vacation up in a cabin, up in the mountains, nice fireplace with my wife, some of the boys, and just having some like shots of whiskey on the slopes, drinking at the top of the mountain, in either Utah or Colorado.
Mm.
Well, you were in Colorado, so I guess you won't have a huge issue. But
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling why you think that. That sounds like a dream, dude. I mean, my tier 3 is actually not far off either. So I don't.
well, the reason I thought is because Colorado is whatever. But
Nah, Colorado's
yeah,
sick.
but you were
Colorado's
I
amazing.
forget you were in Colorado. So
Yeah,
but yeah, like dude, just like getting done with a day of snowboarding, like coming home, like coming to the cabin, like eating a good hot meal, and then maybe even going out for some like nighttime snowboarding. Like that just sounds awesome. Coming home, a hot tub, getting in the hot tub, chilling with the boys, having drinks, playing games. Like just sounds like a
hey,
great time.
talk dirty to me, baby.
Dude, don't even let me.
Well, it's funny because my tier 3 is basically exactly the same, but it's in like Wyoming or something. Like you, I don't have like for my tier 3. I don't have like a specific spot, but
Yeah.
like the Wyoming wilderness in a cabin, probably in the fall, and like you said, with the family and with the boys. And in the morning, me and the boys go out and we go hunting. I mean, even like bow hunting for like deer or elk or something,
Like
and
an elk
like
hunt. Oh,
uh, bringing that meat home, cooking it over the grill, or I mean, even fishing too, like going out and going in the
yeah,
morning and
dude.
fishing, bringing that meat home, and then like having that around the fire with your families, and probably getting a little turned up a little bit at the end of the day, and
Of
yeah,
course, of
just
course.
just to yeah, I mean that's obligatory, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds like heaven. I mean, I consider myself from Florida just because I've spent more time there and all that kind of stuff. But I spent a lot of time growing up in West Virginia, so spending time in the Blue Ridge Mountains, that's, being in the mountains is an amazing time. And that's one thing I do. I'm very particular about is if Cassie and I go somewhere that's up in the mountains, whether we go visit my dad in West Virginia or wherever, is I'll look at her and I'll go shh 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 shh, shh, and we'll get real quiet. Just listen to how quiet it is, because the
So
quiet when
nice.
you're in the mountains and it's just like dead, and you hear like a bird or oh man, dude, talk dirty to me, baby.
Dude, oh my gosh, it's so relaxing. I could sit out. Like I'll wake up in the mornings and I'll make me a cup of coffee and I'll go outside. I'll get a little bit of quiet for a little, just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then I hear a train, or I hear a jet fly off, or a dog barking, and I'm just like, it was
Shut
so
up.
nice. It was so nice. Just like the silence, and that's like in the mountains. It's like you can get cabin right next to somebody else, and it's just silent in the mornings. Like the mornings and the afternoons, just everyone's just inside relaxing. Cabin. I love a good cabin. I know, I know you're a big beach guy, but I'm definitely a mountains over the beach guy.
Bro, I'm a nature guy, and I know it's kind of a cop out, but I mean,
No,
again, I'm not
that's
going to
fair.
sit here
That's
and say
fair.
I don't love the beach, because I absolutely love the beach, but I love the beach. But, like I said, being in a cabin, being in the mountains, being anything like that, I just don't like the city. That's my thing. So anywhere we can go where we're
Yeah,
not in a
completely
city,
agree.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, even when I go to the beach, like every time I go to Florida and come back and talk about it, we're close to Clearwater, but I will never go to Clearwater Beach because right behind it is a city, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you.
All right, what's the tier two, brother?
All right, tier two is kind of it's an encompassing kind of one.
Mm-hmm.
So number one place on my bucket list is Greece. I've always wanted to see the white buildings with the blue houses. I believe it's Santorini. I believe is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But in all encompassing, I said I want to do a Euro trip, and I just want to go. Like I want to take like I know, right? Not like that kind
No,
of Euro
no, no,
trip,
no,
but
no, 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 no.
I want to take like 4 weeks, and I just want to travel, and I just want to go, Italy, uh, Ireland, England, like all those countries over there. I want to live there, but I definitely want to go see all of them because I've had friends like I went through Ireland, but I didn't even get to leave the airport, unfortunately. But um, like I've had friends like go to Europe or go to Ireland, and they're like, it's just beautiful. Like you drive out, and it's just like nothing for just miles and miles, and then
Yeah,
you get to like some pasture out in the middle of nowhere with a tiny little house, and it's like that just sounds so cool. Just to drive like
yeah.
around there. That I would love to do a Euro trip.
Well, my tier two, Nash, you're gonna be blown away. It's gonna be some crazy thing you've never heard of before. It is a Euro trip. It is
No way.
because I could not decide between the UK, Italy, Greece, Spain,
Yeah,
and
dude.
so I just was like, okay, Germany, and so I was just like, okay, just a year, like you said, because I mean, you can get on a train and go everywhere within like a couple
Exactly.
hours of each other. So yeah, I mean, drinking a Guinness in Ireland and then going to the Highlands in Scotland and going, I mean, I know I just said about the city. I probably would look at London for about 15 seconds and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want
Um,
to see that part of England.
have like a full English in England, and then go to the motherland of Italy and dude, just the Amalfi Coast, and then go see Germany and I mean the Spanish coast. I mean, just yeah, like you said, I wouldn't necessarily want to live there, but if if America were to fall, I don't think it would be the worst world in the wouldn't be the worst
No,
option in
it's
the world.
definitely. I think it's definitely my number two. Like I think
Yeah,
I'm probably going somewhere in Europe. I don't know where, but somewhere in Europe.
I think I would go like UK and just try to find somewhere out in the countryside, because every time I see something about like the Irish or or the English countryside, it's just like a lot. I know
It's
a lot of
beautiful.
people in those countries bag on it, but like God, it's gorgeous. It's quiet. I mean,
Just rolling
even
hills.
there's a movie you and I will have to watch together, but it's called The Fisherman's Friends, and it's about the shanty group, the Fisherman's Friends.
Hmm.
And the whole point of the movie is they're from what the hell is that place called? Oh, I'm so sorry. But um, I can't believe that one of my favorite songs from them is literally called "Blank My Cornwall." They're from Cornwall. Um,
Okay.
and so it's like this little beach like town out in the middle of or out in nowhere, and they don't have internet and they don't have anything. And the whole point of the movie is it's a true story, but a guy comes from the city to basically make fun of them, telling them they're going to get a record deal, but like doesn't actually,
Hmm.
he's got like thinks it's going to be a prank, but they actually end up huge. But the point of the movie is everybody's like, oh, tee hee, look at these old geezers out in the middle of nowhere who I would give so much money to live somewhere that nobody wanted to go, to live out in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere, to work on a fishing boat my whole life. And like, you don't make a lot of money, but you're going to have food on the table. You got your
You got
community,
enough.
you've got your pub, dude. That's it. I don't need a big house or fast cars or anything like that. I need peace. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
so my
I
tier
tell Tori
two
all the time.
is the Euro trip.
Yeah, I tell Tori all the time. I'm telling you, if we go back to Tennessee, I said I'm gonna find me a piece of land that's back off the road. There's nothing nearby. Build a house there. I said that's what I want to do. But yeah, like something like that, like working on a fishing boat all day, dude, that'd be awesome.
Sick.
With your boys.
Yeah, dude, get out of here. I was just telling Cassie I wanted to put this up. Alex and I have plans to buy a big plot of land in Florida and build houses or have houses like on the far side, but share the property. And I was like thinking of the future, and I got a little smile on my face, and she was like, "What are you thinking about?" And I was like, Alex and Ashley, his probably future wife, his girlfriend right now though, coming over to the house with Jade and Joshua, like a little bit older, and then he comes over to the house because we're all waiting on Nash and Tori and hopefully their kids to drive down, and we're all going to spend the weekend like at the house or the week at the house or whatever, and like that's the dream right there. I don't need
Dude, that's just
a big house.
awesome.
I don't need that's what I need in life, and so that's what I was smiling about. But all right, man, your tier 1 last week was kind of dog shit. So
that's fine. That's fine.
hit me up with the tier
was
1, baby.
My tier 1 was solid. My tier 3.
Yeah. Okay, your tier.
Yeah, my tier 3. My tier 3 was dog shit.
Questionable.
But dog shit in your opinion.
It's
my tier 3. Okay.
Yeah,
it's mine. Yeah. Tier 1. I think it's Royal Caribbean or Carnival. One of them. They have released. It's a worldwide cruise, and it's like a year long, but it's like crazy expensive.
Yeah.
But you go to, I want to say like 56 countries, like, and you literally see the whole world. And have you ever been on a cruise before?
Nope.
Well, like cruises are like my top.
Yeah.
Dude, they're like my top vacations. They're so awesome because everything's included. Like you have 5-star dining, 3 meals a day if you want it, endless buffets, 24 hours a day. I'm going back to food, man. I love food, but like there's entertainment going on. They've got like water slides, like little water parks, basketball, comedy shows, game nights, trivia. You can just sit on the deck and just relax and drink if you want. Like, man, they're just awesome. And then if you don't want to do anything, you can just stay in your room all day, and like no one cares. No one cares anything. And it's like if you do get drunk, you don't have to drive home, or you don't have to call an Uber, or like you can literally just walk back to your room. You're already there. It's the best, dude. And like it's a worldwide cruise. I think it's like 250, 300 days. You're on a boat for a long time, but like they make stops and they're there for like a couple of days, so you get to actually go out and see the places. I think it's got to be my number 1.
Yeah, I mean,
because you get to see so much.
Well, dang, I guess I probably should have went first because that was a good one. But my tier 1, I got to give an honorable mention to Hawaii because Hawaii is one of my dream places, and my wife's probably actually going to be surprised it's not my tier 1, but I mean, it's amazing. blue water. I love Hawaiian food. I mean, again, we just talked about it, but the Hawaiian culture without without Americans there, but the Hawaiian culture is just like calm and like relaxing, and they're like, I just love the energy of native Hawaiians. But my tier 1 would have to be Australia because it is basically like Hawaii, but with reptiles and things that can kill you. And since I'm like Steve Irwin at heart, R.I.P. They got saltwater crocodiles and freshwater crocodiles. They've got like 7 of the 12 deadliest snakes in the world. They've got spiders. They've got jellyfish that could kill you. And so I'm not sitting here like, oh man, I want to die. But like, I just think that it's like kind of like Florida where like they have these animals that there's the only place you can see them is there. Plus, the Australia Zoo, there's lots of things there. Roaming kangaroos, like we have like squirrels, like that would just be like my dream.
Yeah, dude, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that one. That's solid.
It's basically like a zoo out in the wild. So that's like my dream right there.
Yeah, dude. I also say, knowing you, that's you thrive out there. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. All right.
Yeah, that's a solid one, man. I didn't think about that.
Hell yeah. But so yeah, that's the tier list. No, I don't think we had any debates here. That was just a sick couple of boys agreeing on everything. So
Yeah, that was
a good
good. We had a pretty similar tier list, as similar as it could be.
one. Yeah, 2 and 3 were basically exactly the same.
2 out of 3 ain't too bad.
All right, my brother, do you have any closing statements that you would like to make? Be better.
I ain't got nothing. Yeah, be better. It's great talking to you, man. I love sitting on here and just chit chatting. It's great. Excited for Saturday.
Yeah, I mean
Saturday's gonna be fun.
Oh man, dude. So again, we'll make plans off of this, but I might have a rugby game Saturday, and then like going to the hangout with the boys and eat steak and drink, bro. What a day. But yeah,
dude.
Super excited for that. My only last statement I have is, I said this before, and I want to make this abundantly clear. Enjoy life. Make sure you understand how blessed you are, and make sure you are appreciative of how blessed you are. There are a lot of bad things going on in the world. There are a lot of awful things, lots of war, lots of illegal stuff going on, but you are blessed. If you're listening to this, you're probably blessed. So just appreciate everything you have in life and enjoy your life. Enjoy the time you have here. Enjoy the time with your family. Enjoy the time with your friends. Forgive people, all those kind of things. So I just wanted, we did a lot of, I'm ready for war, but I want to make sure that we also enjoy life before the war happens. So,
Amen,
all right.
buddy. Amen.
Well, I am your host, Joshua Walker. This has been my boy, Nashville. This has been another episode of From the Front Porch. I couldn't be more happy if you're still here watching. We will see you next week, probably back with Nashville again, hopefully with the boy Alex. This has been From the Front Porch, and we will see you next week.